Hello everyone, I'm back with another video for my AI Foundation for Builders episode 2 of 3. This is one of the questions which I get every time from everyone nowadays. ChatGPT versus Claude versus Gemini, which is the best tool of all and which tool they should be using. So I will try to answer this question in this video. Let's dive in. Okay, so which one is the best? ChatGPT, Claude or Gemini? So let me answer this question, but I feel there is something wrong in this question. I'll tell you what. So you cannot say or cannot ask that whether Toyota is the best or Honda is the best, or maybe whether Mercedes is the best or BMW is the best. Correct? Both have their own features and functionalities which excel from one another, right? Same thing is with ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini, or other LLMs which are there in the market, right? Uh, See, under the hood, every LLM works in the same way, which I explained in the previous video, where I mentioned that it's just a next word predicting machine, and these machines do it very fast. So these are all next word predictors, okay, with a certain level of enhancement, which we will definitely look in the future videos where we move towards creating our own API in a enterprise environment, right? Okay, so I think by the end of this video you will have a clear idea, and you will be asking the right question, right? Which one actually fits what I am actually doing, okay? Or maybe in my view, if you ask me which model to start with, I will always answer that you pick one and start using it in your daily life and daily tasks, and maybe use an AI first approach. So for example, anything which comes across in front of you for any task, start an AI first approach. Okay, so what we will do some whiteboarding. Okay, so one thing is for sure that it's a kind of a tip which I want to give it to you, that uh, always, if you have some money, always use the pro or plus models. Okay, you can use free also, that should not be a problem, but I would always prefer to use the pro and plus models because it gives you a lot of features. It prioritizes your prompts and your actions, and it also gives you responses pretty fast. Okay, so that you need to do. And second thing is that these are all LLMs. Okay, what we understood, okay, in the previous video, that these are all large language models which understand human conversational language, and in fact can also respond back in different tones and dialects, or in a conversational manner. Okay, all these three can be fluent and confident but still be wrong. What we understood last time, the hallucination part, right? These models are trained on a lot of data, maybe articles, books, research projects, etc. So they are dependent on that data which was fed to them, and that data can also have some mistakes. So basically, when they build up these patterns, they can be wrong, okay, and they can hallucinate. But the percentage of hallucination nowadays is very less. I mean, it may be something like 1% or even 0.0001%. Okay. Uh, Now let's talk about what is the actual difference. The reason why I've created this video. Let's see what is the actual difference between the three. Okay. So first of all is who built them. Okay. I believe this everybody knows, right? Still, I'll just write it down. ChatGPT is OpenAI, and Claude is Anthropic, and Gemini, of course, is Google. Okay, different companies and different training choices, different defaults. These all have a different way of functioning, although at the back end they follow the same algorithm, the next word prediction. Okay, but these, I mean, one can be more chatty, one can be more direct, uh, one can be more conversational, right? Okay, so it's like reading articles from two different people who have a different way of writing. That is how the responses are segregated. Okay, second part is that where you may want to understand that, okay, what are the key uh, advantages or features of these different LLMs. Okay, so for example, if I talk about, let me first write it down. What is good in what? Okay, so for example, Claude, I use it extensively for document creation, or writing, or maybe sometimes research as well. Okay, if you talk about ChatGPT, ChatGPT is the everyday brainstormer. I would say every day. I mean, if you want quick responses on everyday queries, ChatGPT is good. Okay, and of course, one more feature which I like, especially the mobile feature. I don't know how it is different from the laptop one, but the voice conversation or the voice chat is very good of ChatGPT. Okay, then let's talk about Gemini. Gemini is one of the strongest for multimodal. Okay, multimodal, that means it has text, it understands images, videos, plus if I mean, nowadays everybody uses, most of them use Gmail, Google Drive, and other stuff, right? If you have if you are a avid user of Gmail, Docs, and other stuff of Google, then Gemini actually is tightly integrated, I should say, tightly integrated or coupled with this. So it helps you with that tight integration. It can actually read your emails, docs, and then you can also give it some actions to be performed on your behalf. So that is the advantage of Gemini. Okay, so these are some features, but don't be misled by the fact that these three are competing with each other. So if I say that, okay, Gemini has a good model, let's say, I think where for videos, right? Maybe uh, VO, or for images, right? So some, after some time, you may come to know that now ChatGPT has a better model of that, right? In their newer version. Same way, maybe Claude can also compute. For example, even Claude gives you very good presentations. It has a design feature nowadays, right? I will not get into the details, but I just want you to understand the concept, right? That these LLMs can compete with each other, and they are competing actually, and they are racing or beating each other in all these modalities. Okay, now the third part, which I'll come to, the context window. This is also very important, especially people who are using the free plan. In the context window, this is where, which I explained in the last video also, that how much it can remember in a single chat, right? In a single chat, how much it can remember, how many tokens are allowed. So that also defines uh, a better experience for you when you're chatting, right? Sometimes if you upload a lot of documents and ask a lot of questions, your tokens may expire, right? So that you may always want to to go towards a model which is efficient and which can give you good responses, plus it can remember your memory for a longer period of time, right? Then the fourth part is how much, how much is the you know how much ecosystem connectivity is there, right? For example, as I slightly mentioned also, let's say ecosystem connectivity. As I said that Gemini already connects to everything with respect to Google, or Google workspaces, Google Excel or Google Drive, etc. And ChatGPT has a huge plugin integrations with so many plugins, whether it is Notion, Slack, whether it is analytics, right? Whether it is other models or other LLMs, it connects with everyone. And Claude, of course, is more towards connecting to something like GitHub or other research entities, right? Okay, so ecosystem connectivity is also important. It depends upon which model you want to use and how much integrations it already has with different softwares and systems in the world. Okay, and the last part, as I told you, I already gave a view of it, that some can be good in I'll write multimodal over here again. Some can be good in videos, some can be good in text, some can be good in images, some can be good in reasoning, some can be good in creating presentations, some can be good in solving complex tasks, right? Okay, now these are some what I would say, different nuances based on you how you can differentiate between ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini. Okay, but if I stop here, I would be doing some injustice to the knowledge which I want to share. Okay, because there are many Chinese models also available nowadays, like I think it is DeepSeek, Quen, and Kimi, which are also very good models, right? Chinese models like DeepSeek, Kimi, Quen. Now these models are actually directly competing with these Western models of ChatGPT, Claude, and the biggest advantage using these models is the price. These are like 10x less price. And if I give you another biggest advantage, is that these are all open source models. Open source models means you can actually download and install it locally and use them. Of course, you need to remember that if you want to use these models in an efficient way on a local system, that local system should be very strong with a lot of GPUs. We may talk about that in our future videos, not now. But if you look at this advantage, this is a very big advantage, because if you are an enterprise company and if you want to use some models like ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini, so these models are like available over the internet, where your data can actually flow to the internet on their servers, right? But these being open source and cheap, the DeepSeek, Kimi, and others, you can actually install it on your enterprise servers locally, and imagine that your data is not moving across. That means data residency. If you are working in a financial organization and building an AI, this point actually carries a lot of weight. Okay, so organizations may not allow your data to go outside your country. So in that case, then you're limited, and you may not be able to use AI. But then if you have these kinds of models which you can actually locally install on your servers, and then build a AI on top of it, which is serving use cases in your organization, like customer service, customer bot, agents, or maybe fraud risk monitoring, or some kind of other use case. So that gives you a big advantage using these Chinese models locally. Okay, uh, I think that's it. What I wanted to explain in this video. I don't want to stretch it more. Okay, and so the key takeaway is that don't be obsessed by one tool. That's a mistake I see many smart people do. See, these tools are continuously evolving. Every day, some tool sprints ahead in some functionality and features. As of recording this video, if I again write it down, sorry, again write it down, ChatGPT is good for daily chatting and answers. Okay, and Gemini is good at working with images, videos, or as I said, deep integration with Google tools. Okay, uh, and Claude, of course, always for careful or concise documentation. Okay, so that's it. The one line takeaway is that they all are the same kind of tools, but you need to choose them by what fits you, uh, what you feel is the best for you, and not go behind the hype. Thank you. Thanks a lot for watching this video. Thank you.